Straight Black Pride brothers and sisters. It's your brother, DC Radical 1, with another Radical Report. And today we are going to discuss what has come to be known as the 12-day war between Israel and Iran. And then we will look forward to see what could be coming up next on the world stage. Now, for those of you all have been paying attention, you know that over a month ago now, Israel attacked the nation of Iran while Iran was preparing for negotiations over their nuclear program with the United States. Now, there was some question on whether the United States actually had co-signed this attack. And then later on, Mr. Trump said that he was in on it and that he played his part by pretending to be getting ready to negotiate, which caught the Iranians off guard. Now, we have to give Israel credit. The attack was spectacular, a spectacular success at the beginning. They were able to attack nuclear sites. They were able to assassinate military officers, including key generals. They were able to assassinate scientists that were working in the nuclear program. And so at the beginning, it looked like a spectacular success. And that is probably why Mr. Trump lent his name to it. And admitted publicly that he was in on it. Now, the thing that changed afterwards was after that success, after the Mossad assassinations, and we now know that the Mossad was aided by Azerbaijan in the attacks. They were able to even blow up stuff inside Iran. So, I mean, like I said, it's very successful at the beginning. What happened after that was Iran showed what they've been working on for the last 40 so years. They unleashed a missile barrage upon Israel that Israel did not think was possible, that I'm sure the United States didn't think was possible. But if you've been following my channel, you've been listening to my programs over the last 2 or 3 years, I said before that Iran has been working on their missile program for 4 decades, and that they had, without a doubt, the most advanced missile program in the region, the most powerful one, and that they had hypersonic missiles. I told everyone that, and that there would be no defense once they unleashed these type of weapons on whoever dared to attack them. So what happened after that is they unleashed what they call True Promise 3, I think that's what they called it. That was the mission name, and they unleashed 22 waves of missiles and drones at Israel. And they started off with older model rockets and older model missiles, and they essentially just overwhelmed the Iron Dome, the David Sling, and these other Patriot batteries that they have there. They overwhelmed the stuff that Jordan has, and because people don't understand that the vaunted Iron Dome that everyone hears about is supplemented by American weapons and also weapons in places like Jordan. So it's, it's kind of a myth that it's just Israel's defense is impenetrable by themselves. No, that's not the case. The reality of the situation is that without the United States, Israel in this case would have been completely obliterated. But as pictures have emerged and as people have gotten the information out, we see that Tel Aviv has been devastated. We see that Mossad headquarters was hit. we see that the installations where Israel had their biological weapons program, and a program where they make weapons to target it specifically to certain people's DNA, that appears to have been destroyed. That lab appears to have been destroyed, and there are other facilities. Iran now is claiming to have killed over 24 military personnel as far as pilots. They attacked air bases, and so over the span of, we could say 12 days, but really about 10 days, they were able to enact heavy damage to the military installation of Israel. And the reports came out, or were coming out as the war was going on, that Israel was running out of munitions to be able to defend themselves. Many of their citizens were fleeing to places like Cyprus, and basically they were on the verge of a massive defeat at the time that the ceasefire was called. So that brings us up to now. Now is, what can we expect moving forward? Well, one thing that we know is taking place is that Israel is taking this time to get more ammunition, more munitions, more weapons from the United States. Also, on the other side, Iran has ordered, I believe it's the J-10 fighter jet from China. They're also getting air defense batteries from China. I expect them to, at some point in the near future, take because they've already it's funny, they've already ordered some stuff from Moscow. I expect them to take delivery of those things from Moscow. We already have reports of of weapons being delivered from China to Iran. Also, there have been reports of planes arriving in Iran with their transponders off, so they can't be traced. That's already taking place. We know already that Israel can get pretty much anything that they need from the United States as far as military hardware and weaponry. And so, in the grand scheme of things, what is taking place is both sides seem to be preparing for round two. Israel, early on in the battle, if Mr. Trump repeated it, they talked about they have superiority over the air, and they claim to have complete control over Iranian airspace. It appears that Iran is doing everything they can to make sure that we don't have a repeat of that event. The J-10 fighter jet has proven itself. It was able to destroy. The J-10 was used by the Pakistanis against the Indians in their short skirmish, and the J-10 has shown that it can destroy Western fighter jets. I believe India has fighter jets that they got from France, and those fighter jets were no match for the Chinese fighter jets. So what appears that we will have is that we will have it appears Iran is trying to rebuild their air force from the ground up, and it appears that Israel will have to reconstitute some of their air force. And at the same time that that's going on, of course, they're continuing their campaign in Gaza, and while they're doing that, Hamas has reconstituted itself as they have taken down some IDF soldiers. And now Iran is claiming to have recruited over something. I saw the number of over 100,000 or maybe 200,000 fighters to reinforce Hamas. So they're claiming that that the resistance is still on. We've seen the so-called Houthis, the Ansar Allah movement of Yemen. They have taken down and sunk 2 Israeli ships. I believe that was in the Strait of Hormuz or the Persian Gulf. I'm not exactly sure. I should have that information before I made this report, but nonetheless, they have claimed to take down a couple of ships. So they are attacking Israeli ships in the region, and so the proxies of Iran, they're back in the game. If I'm not mistaken, Israel this morning or yesterday attacked Syria, a region of Syria. So I have to look into that, and I'll bring that report later on. And so even in this pause or during this ceasefire, while there's not direct action between Israel and Iran, there's action between their proxies, there's action against other forces in the region from Israel, and Israel seems to be pretty much attacking anyone they can, but they are going to have to they're licking their wound, and they're going to have to re-up some weaponry before they can go back at Iran. The question, of course, now is, will Iran's attack be so devastating that it forces the United States to physically defend in Israel with U.S. soldiers? And if that is the case, will that draw China and Russia into the fray? Speaking of Russia, what we're seeing with Russia is they have ramped up their military campaign through the air, completely devastating Kyiv and then even cities in western Ukraine, which they pretty much had not attacked. And they are unleashing some of the hypersonic missiles, the Oreshniks, and they're just going full bore, and they're trying to end this conflict as soon as they can, because they want to be able to pivot and deal with Azerbaijan, which, to my understanding, is in the Islamic region, a Muslim country, but they seem to be siding with the Zionists here for reasons that I don't quite understand at the moment. And so my understanding is that Mr. Putin wants to be able to deal with Azerbaijan, which is also in this region. I believe it's to the south of Russia, and they want to deal with that because Azerbaijan is bordering in Iran, and they were helping the Zionists during this last campaign. And so Mr. Putin wants to deal with that so that Iran will not be outflanked again and attacked on both sides. And of course, China definitely wants to help because they get their oil from Iran. And Mr. Trump has said that he is going to put tariffs on the countries connected with Russia because of the Ukraine war, which means one of those, of course, would be China. And lastly, we cannot forget that Pakistan has stated that they will side with Iran if any type of nuclear situation goes off, that they will be retaliating in kind. And lastly, but not least, you have North Korea, who seems like they're always ready for the smoke, and they could easily get into the fray on the side of Iran. And of course, you have the European Union backing up Ukraine, and who knows if they would step in on the side of Israel if Israel were to face what they were facing, which was a defeat. And speaking of that, before I close out, one thing we have to understand is Israel does have the Samson option, and if they feel like they are going to be defeated, which they were, I would say that they were defeated this last round. But if they feel like they are going to be completely defeated, it is part of their doctrine that they will attack multiple countries with nuclear weapons, setting off possibly a global nuclear war. So those are the stakes. That is where we are as of Wednesday afternoon. Of course, a lot of things could change in the time between me recording this video and me putting it out. So I'll try to keep you all up to date at least once a week on what's going on. And of course, we still have the Epstein thing going on in the United States. And so there, from a geopolitical perspective, there's a lot of things taking place. And I'll, try, as I said, to at least make a video once a week to keep up with the different things that are taking place. And lastly, I am trying to schedule an interview with our brother, Irritated Genie. With that being said, if you all could support by making sure you watch the last 3 or 4 videos that's been put out, including the Irritated Genie preview video, and if you all could support by purchasing some of the Lost Tapes videos, which are $25 for a single video and $100 for the set, we would greatly appreciate that. The more support you show, the easier it will be for me to get to brother on the channel to talk about the global events and the things that are taking place. So with that, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your brother DC Radical 1. With that, I say a BB for ODA and straight black pride. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cash App is $DC Radical 1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight black pride.